Happy New Year.
It's Stephanie and Derek Evelo with the Evelo Team at Keller Realty. And today we have our special guest, Bob Warner, one of our senior realtor partners with the Evelo Team. And I think, Bob, we're starting on what, eight years or going into 9?
Going into 9.
Going into 9. I was going to say, we just celebrated your 8-year anniversary. So yeah, starting into 9. So super excited to have Bob here. Bob is one of our stats specialist, and so we like to have him on here every single month. So we appreciate all the time and effort that Bob puts into this, so that we can share with you, our public and audience, and so that you can be informed about our local real estate market here in Indianapolis, Indiana. So Bob, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to review today. We're just going to review what's happened over the last 30 days. So
yeah, so we have the December year-ending numbers to share today. So similar to what we do each month, just kind of a few overview slides that we'll start with, and then kick it back to Derek and stuff for a few other things to go over. But first up is that median sales price. So for December, the month ending December 2021, that landed at $251,000, which was just a tinge over that November number. But I think the big thing here is what we're looking at today is where those numbers ended up year over year. So in our market, 16 counties, basically Marion County and all the counties surrounding it, we were up 14.1% on that year over year number. I can remember when I started, I would often tell people that we stayed pretty consistent. Rarely did we ever go up more than 4 or 5%, and rarely did we ever go down more than 4 or 5%. So a really big number, and that's 2 years of big growth on that front. Next up is that cumulative days on market. And so we've been looking at this. It's there's 2 graphs on here, but this lower number here is that median days on market, which was 7 for the month ending December 31st. That was up a little bit from November, but down almost 13% year over year. Next up is that absorption rate. That's also what we call inventory rate. So again, balanced market being a 5 to 6 month supply of inventory. Really since March of 2020, we've consistently been under a month that whole time. And you can see here, we dropped down. I can't remember if we had a month that dropped down to 0.5 or not, but maybe we did in the last 2 years, but 0.6 month supply of inventory for the month of December, which was down over November and down 15% year over year. And then that last one that we look at here is just that percent of list price received. So we're still, I think we've been here for 2 or 3 months in a row, right at 100% of ask price received in the final offer. And again, that's the average rate. So some are going over, some are maybe selling for list price. Maybe there's a few circumstances on different types of homes where they'd sell under list price. And that's down in the peak of the summer months. We had seen that jump up to almost 103%.
That's insane. So Bob, could you imagine if you and I would have had that crystal ball back in 2016 where that first graph was, to know what was going to happen? We would have tried to buy I would have sold a liver to get money to go buy anything I could get my hands on. Could you imagine? I mean,
absolutely.
It's
the other thing you
crazy.
looked at, right? And I looked at something else today, because again, going back to Stephen starting 7 or 8 years ago, and those graphs go back 5 years, and I didn't go over one of them, but one of the ones I looked at was total like inventory on hand. And in January of 2016, it was like 10,000 active listings. And it was like 2,000 total, right, across the entire 16 county area when I was flipping through that today. And that's just a crazy number for sure.
And there was a time in our history in the business that there would be like 21,000 active listings.
I mean, you couldn't hardly sell a house. You were out there with sandwich boards in front of the house trying to get somebody to drive by just to pay attention. I mean, it was crazy.
Try to drive traffic through.
Yeah, just
absolutely.
Crazy. So 0.6 months supply of inventory. I mean, just to see what that really looks like. That's just
So
that just blows my mind.
Absolutely. So what we started doing a few months back is we started really trying to show and illustrate what that means. And we started tracking this when the number went under 500 active listings for these 5 suburbs. Today, we literally are under 200. So across these 5 suburbs where we do a lot of business, basically the northern suburbs, just north of Indianapolis, There are only 171 active listings as of this morning. And then the other thing we kind of track on the right side is how many of those are 250 or less, right? 250 is our new median sales price. Only 6 active listings as of today that are beneath that $250,000 threshold. So
I mean, that's almost, it's almost like
unheard of. You got to
yeah,
think all
that's
of those
crazy.
buyers that are all looking at those 6 homes, right? All
Right.
of the buyers out there that are looking under 250 for just those 6 homes.
Yeah, that's
Crazy. So yeah, it's
Absolutely.
important to get with the right agent to help you negotiate then to be that, you know, to be that top offer submitted. So,
Yeah,
because there's multiple offers submitted. Obviously.
absolutely. And just with the market the way it is, I mean, what are interest rates looking like right now?
Yeah, so that's another one we've taken a look at each month. Again, similar to the other data, we're kind of looking at this 5-year chart. I've started implementing that over the last few months because a lot of people, obviously, knowing what we do as a profession, are asking us what's coming or what's changing. So the way that I felt best to do that is really see how things are kind of peaking and valleying over the last 5 years to see if we can be ahead of any trend spotting. And so for the inventory, it certainly doesn't look like we're going up anytime soon. But the slightly unfortunate thing is on this chart, for interest rates, we are going up. So when we did this back in December, we were just a tinge over 3%. I think it was like 3.05 or 3.1. So they've climbed almost a half a percentage point just in 1 month. So you can see these charts go up, down, up, down, up, down. So there's always kind of these peaks and valleys, and we might be reaching a little bit of a peak. Maybe we'll come back down some in the spring, but the expectation from those that are kind of even in the know more than us from an interest rate mortgage standpoint, the expectation is that number is going to continue to climb throughout 2022. Obviously, if that happens, that makes the cost of purchasing even higher.
Right, absolutely. And any final thoughts on the state of the market at this point after looking at everything?
What a lot of us do at the beginning of the year, right? We set some New Year's resolutions. So maybe if you set a New Year's resolution that you wanted to either get in your first home or maybe move up and buy a new home, what are some of the things you can do to help make sure that you meet that goal this year? So there's just 3 or 4 things on here, right? Some of these are common sense, but save for your down payment if you haven't already been doing that. Contrary to maybe old standards, you don't have to have 20% down. So there's lots of options out there. We can talk about that. Work on your credit if you need to. That's something we can do in conjunction with preferred lender partner. Obviously, working with a real estate professional that's going to help you navigate the market we're in today. And then the first step of the home buying process is always getting that pre-approval. Those are all things that we can help with. The key thing is if that's on your list of goals for 2022, let's get connected. Let's talk through that and get you in a position for success.
Absolutely. And we've seen already, obviously, the 2022 is starting off rather strong right now, even so coming out of the holidays and all. So well, we want to thank you so much, Bob, for your information today. Again, we always appreciate all that you share. And we just want to say thank you to all those who listen and tap in to hear what's going on each month. We want our buyers and sellers to be educated on the market so that they can make wise financial real estate decisions. And so we just appreciate your time, Bob, and we appreciate everybody else's listening in time. And if anybody has any questions about buying, selling, investing, building, relocating, any of those, anything above, they can always reach out to us either on our number here mentioned or via email to info@eveloteam.com, or they can always call 317-863-9011. And one of our agents will be on hold waiting for your call. So look forward to helping each one of you this year reach your real estate goals, whatever those goals might be. And as always,
make each moment count.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. See you.